Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, back at it yet again. Man, what a day, what a day, what a day. We're going to be talking about, a lot of things on the show today. We're going to talk about the Jets losing to the Raiders, a lot of issues there. But we're also going to cover this upcoming game against the Seattle Seahawks as well. This Jets team has some issues, man, had quite a bit of issues, and they were exposed. We couldn't get it done, couldn't finish the game against the Raiders, and now we're going into a Seattle Seahawks team, going up into a Seattle Seahawks team that's serious business. And, there's quite a bit of injuries, a lot of things going on. But listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also leaving some feedback. I love hearing about you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and just get into the show. I am fired up. Listen, this Jets team, as we all know, went up against the Raiders. We just couldn't get the job done, man. We just couldn't get the job done. And I mean, it was hard. It was a tough loss. It was a super, super tough loss to watch them not be able to put away a team, to give up a bomb on the last play of the game on a zero blitz called up by our former defensive coordinator, Gregg Williams. Man, Lamar Jackson out there by himself. Henry Ruggs runs past him. Easy touchdown. Easy. It was tough, man. We fought hard. We fought back. I live streamed, during the show as well. If everybody listened to me on Blog Talk, I live stream during the games on Sunday sometimes. And, man, it was rocking. The Savages, we were in here. We were feeling it. We were grooving. We had a lot of things happening, a lot of positive things going on. We were cheering the team up. Our spirits were up. I mean, we watched the team fight all the way back. There were some issues before the second half. Late in the second quarter, there were some problems. There was turnover, some fumbles. Sam threw an interception, but we were still there. And we raised it up. We raised our spirits, man. And then right before we could close it out, we gave it up, man. We gave it up. And we found a way to lose that football game. That's what hurt. What hurt was that we were right there. We had it. It was a victory right there. And we just a bad call at a bad time. And it all blew up in our faces. But we'll get into that, and we'll talk about quite a bit of the Seattle Seahawks game that we have coming up as well. But first here on the Long Beach Joe Show, we're big on charity. We're big on helping our communities. We're big on doing whatever we can do to, forward other people, to help, push good karma around. And so I'm going to have Mr. Jack Collins come on for the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive. He's going to talk to us about what they're doing on the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive and how they're impacting the community. So, Mr. Collins, I want to welcome you to the show, to the Long Beach Joe Show. How are you doing today?
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello? Okay, great. I'm sorry.
Yeah, can you hear me?
My phone was a little out of whack today. How you doing, man? Thanks for having me back.
I'm all right. Thank you for coming on, man. So, I want you to talk to us about the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive. And can you give us some background on it?
Yeah, my buddy Mark Lee, he's a junior. His father, Mark Lee Sr., was a captain. I'm a firefighter with Mark. Was a captain for our fire department. He's known in the department as the legend. He was a great man, really about the community. He unfortunately passed away due to 9/11 related injuries and sickness. And before he had passed, when he was an active firefighter and captain, he had started a toy drive with a couple of his friends because Jersey City, we're a blue collar community. A lot of, if anybody knows us now, it's because we have a lot of development going on our waterfront. But for the most part, we've always been a blue collar sort of a middle income, middle class city, and we have a lot of people who need a little helping hand every once in a while. And Captain Lee and his buddies, because the fire department were all through the community, they saw that and they wanted to just help kids out around Christmas time in any way, give parents a little bit of a break, help them to, put a smile on the kid's face. So they started this toy drive, and when Captain Lee passed away, his son Mark and his wife and his entire family, took it over and have grown it into this great thing for our community. And Mark takes donations all year. They work with local businesses and other groups, and then they give out, I think they're up to 9,000 or 10,000 toys a year to kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. It really is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's just to try to help out, try to put smiles on kids' faces and help out parents, especially these days. Everyone's having a tough time, and any way that we can help, especially for kids. It seems these days kids' childhoods are getting shorter and shorter, and kids need to have a little, smile on their face and a good day every once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. You're completely correct. And those numbers that you bring up for all the toys that they're giving out and things that they're doing for those children in the community is phenomenal. What are some of your fondest memories of the toy drive, Mr. Collins?
Please call me Jack. Mr. Collins is my grandfather. I remember it's not even. It wasn't even a Christmas time story. Mark takes donations all year round, and he's created sort of a little storage area in his house. Because he tries to get as much as he can through the year, so he has a lot to give out when it's time to do it. But during the year, he'll give out stuff when he finds out about a kid who's in need. And I remember once one of our captains responded to a call in one of our tougher neighborhoods, and they found out, while they were on the call, they found out a young man a young boy who lived next door had just had his bike stolen, and it's an urban neighborhood. These things happen sometimes, unfortunately. And they made a call to Mark. He was on his day off, and Mark went to his house, and within an hour, that young man was sitting on a new bike, as if he didn't miss it. He didn't miss a beat. And his parents probably weren't going to be able to replace that bike anytime soon. But Mark went and he dropped it off, and he was the kid was back where he was. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a wonderful story, Jack. I mean, wow. Just the impact, and like you said,
That's my buddy Mark for you,
Yeah, that kid getting that bike, again, with his bike being taken the way that it was, I'm pretty sure he was just beside himself just with joy. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to hear, Jack. But how can my listeners get involved with the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive? How can they donate? Where can they send money? What can they do?
Well, Mark has, there's the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive. I'm trying to find, I had written it down. I'm sorry. And here it is. I got it. Mark, he has an Instagram. He also has Facebook. It's Mark_Vincent. And that's on Facebook and Instagram. There's a donation link. They can also make donations at any of our firehouses in Jersey City or at our fire headquarters, which is at 465 Marin Boulevard in Jersey City. But, Mark also has the link, on Facebook and Instagram. And again, it's Mark, MARK, _ and then Vincent, VINCENT. And they take donations all year round. So, and also, if you know anyone who needs, kids or a family who needs a little help, I'm sure if you reach out, Mark will find a way to help them.
Absolutely. And everyone listening as well, the link is also plastered across my social media as well, and the show's social media too. So if you want to go and click that link, you can also donate to the toy drive as well. Just going all across our social media, Jack. And listen, Jack, it's phenomenal hearing about the things that you and Mark are doing with that Mark V. Lee Toy Drive. Seriously, it means a lot, and we see. I've worked with you folks for some years now, just promoting the toy drive, and when you guys put up the pictures of those children being so happy to get those toys. And again, there's a lot of kids that would not have a Christmas had it not been, for some of the things that you folks are doing there, some of the toys that you're giving them. So again, I want to salute to y'all, and I want to thank y'all for everything that you're doing. But with that said,
we also want to thank.
Go ahead.
We also want to thank you. It's people like you who get the word out, who you allow us to use your platform to reach your viewers, your listeners, people who may not have an opportunity here. Otherwise, we want to thank you as well, man. I think I've spoken with you 4 years in a row now, and you give us your time and your platform, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Jack. Now, listen, we bleed green over here. You know that. I know you know that. I know you. I know you know. You know what it's like.
These days. We're doing a lot of bleeding these days.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Listen, Jack, we got to talk about these Jets, all right? We got to talk about these Jets, man. What
man. We're doing a lot of bleeding these days.
What are your thoughts about the season so far, Jack? Talk to me, man. How are you feeling right now? What are your thoughts about this last loss to the Raiders? I mean, where are you at right now?
Well, first of all, my father and a lot of my friends are Raiders fans, and we all know those guys are obnoxious assholes. So that just hurt so badly. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can say that, but that's just how I feel about Raiders fans.
Yeah, it's a family show, but go ahead. I understand. It's a family show.
Not nice people. Sorry, not nice people.
Okay,
sorry.
There you go. Thank you.
And then to lose it that way, it's. You feel for Jamal Adams. He's a rookie corner. You put him in that situation. I don't even know why that was. I'm still puzzled. You hear all the conspiracies about tanking for Trevor and all that, but at least try to hide it if that's what they're doing. I don't know. This whole season just seems like we're taking it all apart, hoping to rebuild, but you still got to give the fans a little hope along the way that there's something to build on. Yeah. Not Jamal Adams. I'm sorry. Jamal. We lose Jamal Adams, then we. I'm sorry.
Lamar Jackson. You mean?
Sorry, the corner. Right. I had two thoughts in my head. We lose Jamal Adams. We put Lamar Jackson in that situation. We seem to just be giving away every opportunity. We haven't developed Sam Darnold, I think, as well as we could have. And I've never been a fan of tanking for one player because one guy's not going to deliver in football. It's not basketball. You got to build around it. You got to make smart decisions that are going to give your team a sense of being able to fight through. And I just don't think the coaching staff is doing that as well. They're killing us.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's super tough. And I know we just fired Gregg Williams, because of that, basically because of that call, but. Honestly, like you said, the coaching staff has not lived up to, anything. I mean, hell, we fired Gregg Williams, but Adam Gase is the worst offensive coordinator in all of football. He's the worst head coach ever. Like it's insane and it's bad. But go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. And then the injuries are getting us. We're down to what, 2 safeties this week.
Yeah.
We just find out that Ashton Davis and Bennett Jackson are out. And
no Mims.
Our two healthy safeties are third stringer and Marcus May, which everyone was a third stringer at some point in their career, but I guess now's the time better. Now better than ever, I guess, to get some experience. But it's just tough. It's tough. And then Adam Gase. And I don't know if I feel good about Adam Gase making jokes saying, we're looking for volunteers. I mean, we might be looking for a volunteer coach soon.
I mean, there's a lot of rumors, though. There's a lot of rumors, Jack, out there that, Bill Cowher is going to be interested in. We're definitely going to talk about that as the show goes on. But we've got to – and you hit on a point, though. We've definitely, with the next head coaching hire, because we should be firing Adam Gase at the end of the season. The second we can get rid of him, he should be gone. But we've got to get the next head coaching hire correct, because if we don't, it's going to set us back for years. But one of the things that you talked about as well that I wanted to touch on, Jack, before I let you go, but you talked about Sam Darnold and how you thought we handled him, and we haven't developed him well. Are you a guy that's ready to move on from him at this point, or would you like to see us give him another chance, next year with this team?
I mean, look, you have 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are going to be in this class comp. You got Trevor, you got Fields, and then I think the kid from Florida is going to be ready to go too. I mean, he's put up ridiculous numbers too. Trask, he's, so you have 3 there, and sometimes a fresh start is what's needed, not just for the team but for the player. And maybe maybe Darnold needs a fresh start somewhere else as well. I mean, he hasn't gotten the best of breaks. But sometimes putting Band-Aids on something isn't, eventually you run out of Band-Aids, I don't know what it is with USC quarterbacks either. They just don't seem to live up once they leave sunny California. I don't know.
Well, we don't, at least this USC quarterback, we didn't help him very much.
Well,
we didn't put much, we didn't do much for him.
USC quarterbacks come east and something happens. I don't know if it's our water or our bagels. I don't know what it is, but something gets them.
I hear you, Jack. I hear you. Well, listen, Jack, I want to thank you for coming on. It was great to speak to you about the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive, and it was amazing to speak to you as well, about this football team too. Can you please give our listeners, just again, all the social media, where they can donate and how they can get involved with the Mark V. Lee Toy Drive?
Absolutely. And again, thank you to you for every year you help us out. Thank you to you. On Instagram and Facebook, it's Mark_Vincent, MARK_VINCENT. If you want to make an in-person donation, you go to any firehouse in Jersey City. Just tell them you're dropping stuff off for the Mark Lee Toy Drive. And you can also reach out to our headquarters at 465 Marin Boulevard. You can make a donation there. And then, like you said, you have the donation link all over your website as well. And, again, I want to thank you for every year supporting us. You really help us out. And I apologize for my comments on the Raiders fans. I forgot it was a family show.
It's okay, Jack. It's all right. As long as you smooth it out after that, everything's good. But listen, Jack, I want to thank you again for calling in, man. You have a good night, all right?
Hey, you too, my man. And Merry Christmas to you and all your listeners, and Happy Holidays. And just everybody, let's all remember to be a little nicer to each other these days. Everybody's having a tough time out there with this pandemic and all of our other issues. Let's just try to be nice to each other. I think that goes a long way.
Absolutely, Jack. All right, you have a good night.
You too, my man. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
Thank you, sir.
Ooh, listen, Jack Collins calling in. Listen, again, everyone, Mark V. Lee Toy Drive. Get involved any way that you can. The link for donation is all over my social media so that you can go there and get involved. And if you're in New Jersey, go to any Jersey City Fire Department, drop off a toy, any one of those, they'll get it there. Please do whatever you can to help a kid, make their Christmas. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. It's very, very huge. It's a big time impact for a lot of kids that are really, probably wouldn't have a Christmas unless they got something from the Mark V. Lee. So again, I want to thank Jack for coming on. It was phenomenal to speak to him. And now, folks, we're back to talking about these Jets. And I got callers. I'm going to get to you in 1 second. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to all of the Savages. Salute to everyone that has donated or is also donating to, their local toy drives as well. Salute to Leon Kennedy. Good on you for donating to, your local as well. Salute to Portway, Jordan Ash, Todd Steele, TJ Decker, Angel Reed, and John. Salute to y'all, man. It's good to see y'all in here. Listen, we got to get to talking about this, man. This Raiders loss was tough. Now we're going up against Seattle, and we have lots of injuries, like Jack talked about as well. We got injuries to our safety position. We only have 2 healthy safeties, Marcus May, Fairley. That's it. You look at the situation with our wide receiver position, it's tough as well. Crowder is dealing with an injury that he's still questionable to play. Mims is not going to be playing. He's dealing with an issue. Thoughts and prayers to his family as well. He's dealing with an outside issue outside of football. So we're going to be without him going to Seattle. This is going to be a really tough football game for us, and we're reeling off of a loss to the Raiders, really reeling by that. I'm just hoping that we can recover and put it together. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the callers because I want to discuss this with you folks and get the call in. So first caller we're going to come to Elias, man. I want to hear from Elias. Elias, man, welcome to the show. We're going to start off with the loss to the Raiders, man. How did you feel about that loss? And were you reeling as much as everyone else was, just emotionally spent after watching the Jets just give up, a last play touchdown on a 0 blitz?
Well, I was actually stoked about it. A lot of fans seem like they, a lot of guys rooting for losses now. But for me, it kind of sucked because my broadcast was behind my phone, so I got a notification that the Raiders scored a touchdown, so I didn't get the live reaction. But man, I had all the Bills fans. I live up in upstate New York, so nothing but Bills fans. I had all my buddies who are Bills fans texting me like, "Yo, thanks for winning this game, man. We don't want to deal with Trevor Lawrence and stuff." So it was good to get them back up. But yeah, it was crazy. I can't believe that happened. I actually I took a screen recording of your reaction because that was gold, man. You bum ass corner, that was incredible, man. So yeah, but was just the most 2020 Jets thing ever. And Williams got fired for it. I think I don't think he did it intentionally. People are saying he's doing it for the tank. I don't understand that. This is what he does. Like he did this against Pittsburgh last year. Like setting the house and stuff. And it not only was it a bad call, but it was executed horribly. I think it was Robbie Sabo, one of the Jets X Factor guys. He did a film breakdown on that. And he was talking about how, like, Neville Hewitt was supposed to, crowd the – like, if you saw the play, Carr stepped up super, like, far up in the pocket. Like, it literally looked like they were splitting the Nile. And we were sending 8 guys, and there was still no pressure, which I thought was crazy.
It's just to me, look, and like you said as well, I'm going to talk to you about Gregg Williams getting fired for that call after the game. Look, I understand that he's done that in the past. I understand that he sends pressure. He's done that with 2 other teams. But you have to know the moment, and you have to know the roster, and you have to know better than to call that play. There's just it's inexcusable. You cannot look at this situation and go, "Hey,"
like Darrelle Revis, like Lamar Jackson is not Darrelle Revis, man. Like
exactly, you cannot put a rookie corner who's undrafted in that position. To have to cover the fastest wide receiver on their football team, one of the fastest guys in the league. You have to take away. Yeah, you have to take away the option of giving away a game like that. You just have to take it away. Look at where we're at right now. Look at our roster. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. We don't have the talent to be like, oh, yeah, that won't happen. You can't do that. You have to be smarter than that. So, look, do I think that Gregg Williams should have been fired for it? Honestly, he's been the best coach on the staff for 2 years, right? It was a bad call.
By far, yeah.
But at the end of the day, can you really but can you really be super angry about it? I mean, he made one of the worst calls of this year. And also, you start to wonder, and again, with Marcus May coming out and, saying some of the things that he said as well, kind of, calling out Gregg Williams for that call, you wonder, hey, could the defense really have gone on to trust Gregg Williams in his calls, especially after that? It was just a lot of anger and fallout. I mean, you could see it on the players' faces, coming out of that game. So it's just really tough, man. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about, Elias, as well, before we talk about the Seahawks game was, a lot of people aren't talking about the drive before we punted back to the Raiders, for that game-winning touchdown that they threw. Were you disappointed at the fact that we ran the ball 3 times? I mean, if we get a first down right there, the game's over, right? Don't you think we should have taken advantage of that moment and did whatever it took to get a first down?
Yeah, I'm going to talk in the perspective of if I would want to have won the game, just because, if it was, an important game, it's stupid because they know what's coming. It's, typical predictable Adam Gase stuff. I know the running backs, Johnson, Adams, have been playing well that day, but, at least, they know that's coming. So just, pass the ball, get a first down. Don't run the ball on 3rd down. Run like a little, roll Sam out of the pocket, maybe have him run for a couple of yards, and then boom, you get your first down. So, that definitely could have been addressed better, but, the thing with people saying, the media is blowing up, Gregg Williams, oh, this is so egregious, he deserved to get fired. Dude, Adam Gase makes, 10 calls like that a game, and that's being nice. More like 20.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. And again, everyone, I hear the audio, there's an issue. This is with Blog Talk. It's not with us. There's nothing I can do, so we're going to continue, Oh, no, it has nothing to do with you. I just want to, because I see everybody in the chat. Salute to y'all again, for saying, but it's Blog Talk. They're having issues, but we'll continue to push through it. But again, thank you everybody for joining and listening and staying in. So we'll continue on with the show. Blog Talk is tripping as usual, but I want to get to this offense. We're going to talk about this upcoming game against the Seahawks. You see, Mims is out, Crowder is out. There's so many injuries, especially along our secondary with our 2 safeties. We only got 2 safeties now with May and Fairley starting, man. What are your thoughts about the injury bug biting us, man? What are your thoughts about how we've been hammered defensively at our safety position with only 2 healthy safeties now?
Yeah, so I don't know if Ashton Davis is out for the whole year, but McDougal, he's gone. He was terrible anyways. I think he got a season-ending injury, but Yeah, it's definitely tough, especially, playing against those wide receivers with our corners. They're definitely going to get beat, and having that safety help is very important. But, it's May and Matthias Farley, right? Yeah. So, I know Farley's more of like a special teams guy. I'm not really familiar with him playing safety. I think there's a reason why I'm not, because he's not all too good. I know he had towards the end of the game, last week, it was pretty rough on that. It was the play before the touchdown. I saw him get beat pretty bad. But, it should be tough. You got one of the best wide receiving duos, Lockett, Metcalf, with two not great corners. So it's definitely going to be tough seeing that.
Yeah, it is. It is. What are your thoughts about the matchup as far as with our offense? Do you think we'll be able to run the football effectively against the Seahawks at all?
I actually think this offense isn't going to be, unwatchable. The Seahawks defense is terrible. Especially, their pass rush isn't good. They get a lot of their pressure, blitzing Jamal Adams, stuff like that. They're good at, they got Wagner. They got some good guys there, but overall their defense is they've improved a bit. But, man, they just lost to, Colt McCoy on the Giants. So, no shade to the Giants, but it's a backup quarterback still. So, but it's back to having, a great offensive day because it's Adam Gase. But I think, potentially isn't going to be, horrific and isn't going to be unwatchable just because their defense isn't great.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Elias, before I let you go, man, give me your final prediction for the score against the Jets and the Seahawks, man. What is your final prediction for that game?
I'm going to go 42-14 Seattle.
Ooh, 42-14 Seattle. All right. I mean, it's tough. It's tough, but it is what it is. This team has had some trouble. Listen, Elias, man, it was great to speak with you. Next time I have a show, bro, you got to call in again. We'll definitely talk Jets again. You have a good night, my friend.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
All right. Whew. Elias calling in with the heat. We're going to keep going to the lines. We're going to keep going to the callers. Again, I apologize, everyone, for the audio issues. This is directly through Blog Talk. Tripping as usual. It is what it is, but we're going to keep rolling with the callers. I will be coming to the chat to talk to the Savages, though, for sure. We're definitely going to cover, this game. We're going to, definitely hear from you folks as well, too. And I want to thank everybody for all the support for the show, and I also want to thank everybody for all the support for the Mark V. Lee toy drive as well. Everybody's, saluting in the chat, so salute to y'all. Shout out to Venom G's as well. And again, Mr. Magics and John, salute to y'all, man. Y'all are the absolute best. So we're going to get back to these callers here because we got quite a bit. All right, we got quite a bit here. I'm coming to 845. 845, I'm coming directly to you. And I want you to give me your thoughts, caller, on the Jets losing to the Raiders. How are you feeling? Are you still reeling from the loss?
What's up, Joe? Man, I was on the live with you that day. Seeing the live reaction was priceless. You got me fired up, man. You got me real fired
Thank you,
up,
man.
Coach Joe out there, man. And I'm one of the guys who I was super conflicted, man. I really want to get Trevor in the draft next year. So I was wasn't totally mad with the loss. But when they got the lead, I was like, okay, I'm a Jets fan, so those little emotions start, bubbling up, and you let's go, let's win it. You're locked in, and then and then the bomb happens at the end, and it's like every year there's a Jets storyline where we're just the laughing stock of the league. Last year it was a seeing ghost. This year it was this losing the game with a terrible play call by Gregg Williams, which I'm not sure what he was thinking. Yeah, at the end of it all, I was kind of just stunned. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know how to feel. But, yeah, it was disappointing. Yeah. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, it was. It was tough. I mean, that to watch that bomb happen and such a bad defensive play call, it was mind-blowing. Like you said as well, Gregg Williams ends up getting fired after. So, it is what it is there. But when you looked at that game and you watched it, were you surprised that we ran the ball so effectively with our dual back tandem with Johnson and Adams? Weren't you excited about just seeing those young guys get the football in their hands and be able to make plays?
Absolutely, man. I think that our offensive line is really coming together. Obviously there's a lot of improvement to go, but I feel like I attribute that running game to more to the offensive line. Not that Josh and Johnson did, not that they didn't ball out, they did. So I was supremely impressed with their performance. But if we can just add a little bit more to the offensive line, we can get a solid running game, and that just goes to prove it. That game proves that if you have solid offensive line playing in the run game, you can really make damage on and we can go back to our ground and pound style we had back in 2010 where we made it to the playoffs. We almost made it to the Super Bowl. So that's why I would hope that we can. Honestly, in the off season, my main focus for Joe Douglas is two things: got to get the right coach, and I want us to have the best offensive line in football. Like if you can give me those two things, then I don't care what you do. We can have Sam, we can have Trevor, we can have Justin Fields. Just give me those two things, and I'll be happy.
Let me. You know what? You talking that talk right now. I'm just letting you know you talking that talk right now because we're almost at the same place. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling kind of how you're feeling, but I'm going to give, we're going to talk about the offseason stuff, but I do believe that our offensive line should be a big priority. It should be one of the biggest priorities, you know what I'm saying, on, for our offseason. We should absolutely be attacking that and trying to find a way to better it at all costs. But, just keeping on with this.
Offensive lineman. So I would hope he knows how to find the right guys. I actually want to ask you a question. Are you still sold on Sam? Do you still want to keep him?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go on the Seattle game right after this question. Here's the deal. I think that Sam Darnold is a good quarterback. Am I still sold on him? Yeah, somewhat. I still am. As everyone knows, I have an off-season plan to trade. One of my plans is to trade that first-round pick and to gain more capital. But one of the things that I have in my plan, it's kind of a built-in fail-safe system, so that if we pick up Sam's fifth-year option and we continue to move forward with him and we put the right pieces in front of him this offseason, which we have the capital if we make this trade, right, we'll have the capital to do that as far as draft picks, but we'll also have quite a bit of cap money as well. But I'm not necessarily depending on that as heavily because we also know that players do not want to come and play for the Jets. We know that, right? That's not like a surprise to anybody. But we've had this issue for a while. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it depends on the coach. We get a coach that's respected.
Yeah. It depends on the coach. To bring guys in here. But so my theory or my thoughts on that is it has a fail-safe system. If he does not work out, we'll still have the capital to move up and get another guy. But I do believe in Sam Darnold. My problem is, and I think our problem has been, is that we failed him so much as an organization. It's insane. I look at the situation that we put him in, and again, I'm not caping for Darnold. I'm just honest about what we've done. We literally did nothing. We didn't do enough, right, at all, to ensure that he would be successful here at all. We didn't do enough at all. You look at the situation that he had when Mac was our general manager. We had Todd Bowles, who was a bad coach, Jeremy Bates, who wasn't necessarily the greatest offensive mind, to be paired with Darnold at all. And we never gave him what we needed to give him for him to be able to move forward and push forward within this organization. He was never set up for success here, whether it be bad offensive lines, whether it be not enough weapons. I mean, we had no weapons, right? So then you go from that, right, where our offense wasn't great. It was bad under Bates and Bowles. There were still questions. And then you turn around and you hand him to the quarterback killer. And I'm not saying that just like to say things. It's the God's honest truth. Adam Gase is the QB killer. There's never been a quarterback outside of Peyton Manning, right? But Peyton Manning didn't even run Adam Gase's system. And we all know that, right? We all know that Peyton Manning ran whatever the hell Peyton Manning wanted to run, right? So there's never been a quarterback that has been successful with Adam Gase as a coach at all, And we've watched not only that, but we've watched players leave Adam Gase, guys that for sure were talked about as being bust. Guys that we were told were not good enough. And, some of them looked like they didn't even belong in the NFL, right, at one point. But they go other places with other offensive minds and become wildly successful. We saw it with Ryan Tannehill. We saw it with Devontae Parker. We saw it with Kenny with the The running back that's in Arizona right now, we saw Kenyon Drake. We saw it with him. We've seen it, Mike Gesicki. I mean, the names, Jarvis Landry, the names keep coming. So when I look at that situation and I look at what's going on here, I say to myself, I think we should give Sam another year with another coach, right, that wants him and wants to help fix him. And again, I don't necessarily, if you get the right coach in here, the right offensive mind, I don't think it's going to take a lot because we saw flashes before Sam was with Gaze. He looked, I mean, it was like night and day. He looks so much worse now within this offense than he did with Jeremy Bates. He looks like a completely different quarterback. So that means that it's there.
It's not all on Gaze. Sam is just, he's lost a step. You know, I'm not sure if his confidence is lost. And I think that's part of the problem is that I would move on from Sam only because I just have a question in my back of my mind. I don't feel like this kid is confident enough to lead the team, and I feel like Trevor has the leadership capability to like go out there and ball out even when things are hard.
But how do you know that? How do you know that though? But how do you know that?
But I think that Sam will do better at another team, and maybe he'll get a spark in a new scenery. And I love the kid, and I really do. I don't want to see him do bad. But I just feel like for this organization to take that risk and sign him on a fifth-year option when there's a generational talent in Trevor Lawrence, who honestly is a better quarterback than Sam, I don't want to miss out on that. You know, so ideally, I want Trevor. But hey, yeah, I hear where you're coming from.
Yeah, look, I hear you, and I tell everybody, and we'll continue these shows throughout the offseason. And I hear what you're saying. I understand people talk about Trevor and all these things, but I remember people saying that Sam Darnold was a generational talent too. You remember that? Do you remember when we drafted Sam Darnold? Yeah, I remember it. So, I just think that there's traits there, and I think a lot of people aren't necessarily looking at the context of what we've done, like how bad it's been. I mean, the simple fact that we're talking about, and a lot of people talk about this on a weekly basis, that if he went to a team that was competent, that they would turn him around and he'd be fine. Well, my question is, then why can't he stay here and we just become competent?
Here's the thing. I think Sam can't.
you get what I'm saying?
He needs the pieces around him. Correct. He's one of those quarterbacks who's not going to elevate his team no matter what you give him. Trevor, I believe, is that dude. I mean, when I see that kid, I think he's that dude. And I know we said generational talent with Sam, and it's not panning out. And I completely get where you're coming from. But we did not see in Sam what we're seeing in Trevor in college. If you take the time to watch him. And Sam, he had a pick problem in college even. And he came out like a year or two. I think he came out a year or two earlier. I mean, he should have, so like when it comes to Trevor, he's a better quarterback. He just is.
Yeah, well, no, Sam didn't have a pick problem. He was the turnover. People call him a turnover machine. I'm a USC guy. He had a fumbling problem. But the problem was it wasn't necessarily a fumbling problem because he was just fumbling all over the place. He had a fumbling problem because our offensive line was trash. Like, literally. Okay. Our offensive line was terrible. That's why they always talked about him being able to run around and throw the football, with no kind of balance. He could just throw because he was running everywhere because we could not block. But I do understand what you're saying. I do hear, your point. And again, we'll talk about this all offseason. But I'm confused. I'm confused about this idea that everyone has that basically you can put nothing around a quarterback. And I'm talking nothing because we didn't have anything. So you can put nothing around a quarterback and he's just supposed to be successful. I'm really concerned with that ideal that comes with that. Say it again.
What do you think about the game where we had we had Crowder, we had Mims, we had Perriman in that game against, but we had all the pieces and he shit the bed. You gotta act like we act like.
Watch it. No cursing on this show.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Jameson, Crowder, Mims, Bertrand, Perriman, they're not scrubs, and he had all of them there, and he did not do well. Joe Flacco did way better than he did. So when it comes to his decision making, I see problems with his decision making. There's people wide open sometimes, and he just doesn't see it.
Yeah. Well, I look at it like this. The games that when he came back, I think if you look at the play calling as well, is completely different than what we saw with Joe Flacco. What we saw with Joe Flacco was Darrell Loggins running an offense that looked completely different than Adam Gaze's offense, right? We saw motions. We saw all those things. Sam comes back in the first game. The play calling goes right back to Adam Gaze. That's literally what we saw. Because that was the exact same game where we were talking about what? We were saying that Gaze had took over the play calling. That was the first game back.
I'm so confused. I don't
So are
even know
you telling me that play calling
anymore.
doesn't make a big difference? Huh?
No, I'm so confused. I don't even know who's calling the plays now because it's been so confusing.
Well,
I have no idea who's calling the plays.
Yeah, I just like I said, I just think it's tough. But I want to get back. We're gonna definitely talk about that during the off season, and it's great to speak to you about that. But I want to get back to the Seattle game really quickly. You look at this situation now. We're going up against Seattle, and we have Greg Van Roten, who's looking like he's going to be out as well. He's having a toe injury. Do you think our offensive line will be able to hold up under this pass rush? Because you know that Jamal Adams, they're going to send him early and often, don't you think?
Oh, for sure, man. Jamal's probably going to try to ball out and just, it's a statement game for him. It could be a long day for our team. I'm not going to lie. Seattle, I know they talk about the defense has been slacking a little bit lately, but I think they're gonna get up for this game because of Jamal. I feel like, and then so I just hope our offensive line kids be serviceable. I don't expect them to be great, but just be serviceable for this game. See what you can do. But I do see Seattle taking it maybe 24-10. I mean, we haven't been able to get in the end zone, so I'm just going based on our history. I think that, so we'll see how it plays out. But I don't see us winning it. It's gonna be a hard day.
Yeah. So so my next question for you is, could you give us a final score prediction for the Jets game against Seattle?
Yeah, 24-10.
24-10?
Seattle.
24-10 Seattle. Okay. Yeah. I respect that. So my final question for you, though, before I let you go, is I want you to give me your thoughts on Cowher to the Jets. How are you feeling about that? It's a rumor swirling around. Do you think it's possible, and would you be open to it?
It's funny. This is a great question. I was just talking to my brother about this yesterday, and I kind of had the same sentiments as you. Like, I was wondering if the game has passed him by because we've seen Gruden come back. It's not necessarily working out quite yet. Obviously, give it time. Mark McCarthy, he just doesn't know what he's doing over there in Dallas. And Cowher's been gone from me for so long. So I just don't. I just know that he's respected. I don't mind having him if we get a decent defensive and offensive coordinator that are, known to scheme well and they know how the game is played today. If we can get that along with him, then I'm cool because people respect the guy and people are going to fight for him. I think players will want to, play for him. But when it comes to the actual scheming, if you can get my brother was saying, he wants Bill Cowher and he wants Rex Ryan as defensive coordinator. I'm like, dude, we're not going to get that, but that'll be awesome. But I definitely.
That's a lot, baby.
That's a lot for real. I must be paying these guys, but they're both coming from TV. They're not leaving that check from TV, So, but
he said he want everybody as the head coach.
Yeah,
he want everybody on the coaching staff.
Bill
Parcells, let's bring him back too.
Exactly. Word. But I wouldn't mind it. He's not my number one candidate, but I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
Can't take it off the coordinator and the coordinator right.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, I want to thank you for calling in, man. It was phenomenal to speak with you. You have a good night.
Absolutely. You too. Happy holidays. Have a good night. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Doing great.
Yeah. Happy holidays to you as well. You have a good one. Oh man, what a caller. That was amazing. Listen. I talk to everybody. I know everybody has different opinions about what we should do with Sam Darnold, if we should get rid of him, if we should keep him. Again, I'm not the Sam Caper, all right? I do love him. I do. But I'm not a homer. I keep it real. All right? If you're not doing what you need to do for the Jets, and I think we can get you out of here and be better, I will get your ass out of here. I will get you out of here faster than Adam Gase can call a dive for Frank Gore on 4th down. I'll get you out of here faster than that. I'll get you out of here faster, all right, than Adam Gase can call a horrific offensive drive. That's fast. I'll get you out of here faster than we fired Gregg Williams after that 0 blitz. Oh, that's fast. Oh, that's so fast. Listen. Also, listen, for everyone, listening to my show, I enjoy all the new callers and things like that. You folks are phenomenal. Please do not call into my show and curse. All right, I will get you out of here fast. You curse more than once, even if you curse once, if it's a word bad enough, I will get you out of here. Please do not curse on my show. All right, it's a family show. I enjoy talking to everybody. Enjoy talking football. I love it. Do not curse on my show, please. So I'm going to get back to these callers in just a second. I'm going to go to the chat. My savages in the chat are going crazy right now. So we're going to go to the chat. Christopher Cancel in the chat. Salute to you, Christopher. Christopher says, hey, Joe, how you holding up? Hope you're doing well. You sure went off like a nuclear bomb when Mr. Riggs scored a touchdown. You went off. You went off and you took your rage out on the Savages. I hope you're okay now. Yo, Christopher, salute to you, man. Listen, I love the Savages, okay? For those of you that are watching or listening on Blog Talk Radio, I also live stream during my show, and my chat is rolling constantly. And so I call my chat the Savages. Why? Because they're savage, all right? Nobody is safe out here, not even me, all right? You say something crazy, you say something they don't like, they're going to get at you. Absolutely. So, you know what I'm saying? I call them savages because they remain savage. That's a saying over here. But, yeah, you know, Christopher, I'm all right, you know. It still hurt. I'm not going to lie. It hurt me to watch the team lose in a fashion like that. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And I'm recovering, especially, you know, we got the Seahawks coming up. We got to pull it together and get ready. So, you know, I did my best to pull it together, and I'm trying to, you know, prepare for this game that we got coming up, man. So salute to you, though, Christopher. Cliff Hopkins in the chat. Yo, salute to you, Cliff Hopkins. Cliff Hopkins says, Joe, do you like Usher and Let It Burn? It's over for Sam in New York. Just let it go. But your plan doesn't sound bad. Yo, salute to you, Cliff. It's good to hear from you, my friend. Good to see you in there. Cliff, known savage. Listen, man, I listen to Usher from time to time. You know what I'm saying? I let it burn. I'm just the guy that keeps it real. You know, I have my takes. I respect everybody. But I think we need to look at things objectively here. We got to look at things factually. You can't blame a quarterback for everything and, you know, not take, you know, accountability for what we've done here. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That just kind of is what it is. Daniel Roberts, salute to you as well. It's good to see you in here, folks. But I'm going to get back to these callers, all right? I'm going to get back to these callers. We got quite a bit of people on the line. Listen, everybody on the line, be patient, okay? I will get to you tonight. I will absolutely get to you tonight. Please just be patient. So we're going to get to my guy, man. My guy, Steve, all right? My guy, Steve, is on the line right now. Steve, it's good to hear from you, my friend. I want you to talk to us about what your thoughts were watching us call that zero blitz and give up that big bomb against the Raiders for a game-scoring touchdown for them.
Well, first of all, Joe, it's great to hear from you again. No, listen, it was just I was watching the game on Sunday with my dad and my younger brother. We were watching towards the end of the game, and when that play happened, here was the thing. My dad felt so heartbroken for me when that call happened on Sunday. But the thing was, in a way, I wasn't as disappointed as I would be in the past. But because the thing is, as a passionate Jets fan I am, I'm honestly kind of used to it by now when the Jets have kind of blown those games before. But listen, let's get back to like some of the things first from this game on Sunday. So, you know, I'll tell you about some of the positives of the game and the negatives of the game. The positive was of the game, I actually thought Sam played pretty decent in the game. I mean, the second quarter, he didn't look that good. I thought Jamison Crowder had a phenomenal game. I thought it was his best game as a member of the Jets. I also thought that, for the first time ever, the Jets' rushing offense under Adam Gase was actually very successful. And, I mean, listen, I got to be honest, I'd rather have Ty Johnson and Josh Adams run the ball instead of Frank Gore. Listen, I understand Frank Gore got a concussion, and I hope he does recover very, very well from it. But the thing is, though, I got to be honest, I think the Jets' offense ran so much better with the ball with Ty Johnson and Josh Adams on Sunday against the Raiders. So that was another positive. On the defensive side of the ball, I thought Marcus May, I'll tell you one thing right now, if there is anyone on that Jets defense, anyone that deserves a contract extension, it's Marcus May. To me, he is the player in the offseason that deserves a contract extension. I thought he played absolutely tremendous in that game. But I mean, and the defense at times, you know, and Quentin Williams, he had another great game as well. But now we have to get to some of the bad things that happened.
You know, Sam had a couple of those turnovers in the second quarter. They were boo-boos, unfortunately. But luckily the Raiders only ended up scoring 10 of 10 of those 3 turnovers on points. But then Mekhi Becton, he did struggle at times on Sunday against the Raiders.
Yes, he did.
To me, that was Mekhi's worst game of his rookie season. But you know what? Listen, it's okay. Mekhi is going to have one of those games when he doesn't look good. The other thing that was a negative about the game was that Denzel Mims was not getting the ball enough. I mean, Mims has to get the ball. Like, he's got to get the ball. I mean, listen, I was happy he got the 2-point conversion play, but he's got to do more. And then, unfortunately, the biggest negative about the game was our secondary. Besides Marcus May, the secondary was awful. And I mean, Blackrock, excuse me, listen, you can't blame Lamar Jackson. You can't blame Lamar Jackson on that play when that Hail Mary touchdown pass. Listen, the kid is an undrafted rookie. You can't blame the kid for that. You can't. It was all on Gregg Williams. The final thing, Joe, hang on, Joe, before you say anything, the final thing, I'm just going to say this. No matter what happened, Joe, Gregg Williams, he did deserve to be fired after what happened on that play. And honestly, he is the reason why we lost the game. But hey, let's
it wasn't a good call by him. I look at the situation and I say to myself, it was not a good call, by him. He should not have made that call. But you brought up a lot of great points, Steve. You look at the situation with the defense, like you said as well. Quinnen Williams had, quite a day. I thought he played very well. I thought our secondary was getting kind of cooked at times, especially when you look at what they were doing with Darren Waller. That guy was everywhere. Like,
Darren Waller,
it was insane.
Waller
like
was
that
the
guy,
best player
he had
on the
200
offense.
yards on the day. I think he had like 200 yards on the day. It felt like he had 500. I mean, it was insane. Like, he was just catching the football and running it in. He had 2 TDs. But, I look at the situation like that last call, that final call by Gregg Williams, that zero blitz, that just lacked awareness to me. I just don't understand how you do that. And like you said as well, he was fired after the game too.
Yeah, and you know something, Joe? I know a lot of fans usually blame Adam Gase after a game, but here's the thing. For the first time, Joe, I couldn't blame Adam Gase for that loss on Sunday. That loss on Sunday was on Gregg Williams. And I'll tell you one thing. I remember during the week when Adam Gase was still talking about that game, and I even remember his post-game conference after the game. This was the first time I ever saw Adam Gase ever really get that pissed off after a game. He actually sounded really angrily for the very first time after the game. And, I mean, hey, listen, Adam Gase, you're still a bad coach no matter what. You could be pissed off or anything. You're still a bad coach.
That's understandable, Steve. Well, listen, Steve, now I want to talk to you about the Seattle game. You did a great job.
Okay.
You talked about this Raiders game. I want to talk to you about the Seattle game that we got coming up. You look at this situation, and Seattle's got a hell of a wide receiving core, with DK and all the other guys they have, even Russell Wilson out there moving around. How do you think we get to Russell Wilson and kind of slow down this Seahawks offense? Do you think that we'll be able to get some pass rush on him? And if so, how? Do you think we'll dial up a bunch of blitzes? Do you think we'll be able, maybe Quinnen be able to push the pocket and get a couple sacks? How are we going to slow down Russell Wilson, especially, stop him from using his mobility the way that he does as well to move the chains?
Yeah, no, you definitely brought up a good point with this game. So here is my thought about this game against Seattle. So we're talking about Seattle's offense. Okay, listen, I got to tell you something right now. If it wasn't for Russell Wilson, that Seahawks team would be absolutely nowhere if they never had Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson has never missed a game in his entire career. And, I mean, Russell Wilson, let me tell you something. Now, the thing is about the offense, he has a great wide receiving core in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I mean, listen, I'm having a grudge, unfortunately, on Sunday because I do have Metcalf on my fantasy team. So, I mean, but hey, listen, Joe, I'm sorry, Joe, but I mean, but the thing is, though, about what's tough about DK Metcalf is what's tough about DK Metcalf is he's big. Like he is ginormous, and he's very, very physical. And, I mean, I don't know which corner is going to be on him, but that corner I'm worried is going to have a tough day. And the thing is with Tyler Lockett is that Lockett is not big. He's tiny, but he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tyler Lockett is a very fast receiver. And now the thing is they also have a good tight end crew in Will Dissly and Greg Olsen, so that's another thing you got to watch out. The Seahawks running game is okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. I mean, Chris Carson can definitely catch passes outside the pocket as well. But
absolutely out the backfield.
The biggest thing, Joe, of Seattle's offense that is not good is their offensive line. Their offensive line is not very good. I mean, there have been at times in games, not compared to this year, but the last couple of years for Russell Wilson, there are at times where Russell Wilson has to run away from the offensive line because he knows the defense is pressuring. But the one thing that makes Russell Wilson very dangerous is that he can get outside the pocket. Like, that is the most dangerous thing about Russell Wilson. So it's going to be some factors. It's going to be some factors. I mean, it's going to be a tough game for the defense, but hopefully, the defense comes up with a plan and to see if they could stop Seattle's offense. But now we got to.
I want to hold on, Steve. Hold on a second, Steve. Before you go over there, because we're going to talk about the offense for the Jets as well. You brought up a lot of great points, and I think that there's a lot of things to talk about, especially when you said, Russell Wilson and his ability to move. We got to slow him down and stop him from, moving those chains with his feet, because like you said, once he gets out the pocket, he becomes super deadly. And DK Metcalf, it's going to be a tough cover for him as well. Even though we know we got Bless Austin coming back, which will send Lamar Jackson to that bench. With Bless Austin coming back, we're going to have to find a way to defensively to slow him down. We cannot let DK take over this football game. And I know you got him on your fantasy team. You laugh, but I know you're going to start him, Steve. I know you're going to start him. You laughed about it, but you're going to press that start button. He's going to be in your starting lineup, and there's a reason for that, because he's going to be able to take advantage of some things, especially when we only have two safeties, on the roster right now, healthy, Marcus May and Fairley. There's going to be a lot of issues. So, how we make the calls defensively to figure out the Seattle offense, how we, slow them down. And Seattle's running game is very solid too. You spoke on that a little bit about it as well. Carson, that guy, he's a grinder. He's a guy that can, really put things together for real. Like, he can catch the football coming out the backfield, but also if he gets in those holes and once he breaks out, dude, he's physical. He will run over, a corner. He will run over, these guys that are trying to bring him down. He can get down and really dip on people. So you got to be very careful when you deal with him as well. But I want to go to the offensive side of the ball with you, Steve, because you're having a phenomenal call. You're spitting fire. You're giving a lot of takes. When you look at us right now, we're hurting, along our offense. We have injuries. We know Mims is not going to play. He's dealing with an issue outside of football, so he's not going to be there against the Seattle Seahawks. Also, it's looking like Crowder is not going to play either. He's dealing with a calf injury. What are your thoughts about how our wide receiver core is looking right now going into this football game?
Yeah, no, and the first thing is first, when Jet fans, there were some Jet fans over the week that said on Twitter, oh, that's great that Denzel Mims isn't playing because now the tank can continue to go on. Listen, Denzel Mims had a family issue. No one should not comment about Denzel Mims like that. Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is that could really hurt is that, yes, not having Jamison Crowder could really hurt us for Sunday's game. He is a game time decision. We'll see what happens if game time goes along. But, the thing is, it's definitely going to be tough for the offense on Sunday, especially with the fact that we're not going to have these players, and especially with Greg Van Roten missing. But I got to tell you something. When Greg Van Roten did leave the game on Sunday, I actually thought the offensive line played so much better without him. I think they played a lot better without him when he left the game on Sunday against the Raiders. But the only thing is what I'm a little bit worried about for our offense is that Frank Gore is going to get more reps if Gore is going to play. I got to be perfectly honest. I would not mind if Frank Gore would sit on the bench for a game. I really don't mind.
Yeah,
it's nothing. Hang on, Joe.
Yeah,
it's nothing I
he's
don't have against Frank Gore. I don't have anything against him, but the thing is, we got to build on the future. But now we got to talk about this Seattle defense. Now, let me just tell you something. Seattle's defense, despite the fact that they only gave up 17 points last week against the Giants, but throughout the whole entire season, their defense has been absolute garbage this year. Like when Jamal Adams went to Seattle, when we made that trade, everybody all thought the Seahawks defense was going to be legit. But honestly, it's not. Their defense literally gives up at least 21 to 40 points a game. And I got to tell you something. Jamal Adams definitely spoke a lot today about the upcoming game Sunday. I mean, I got to tell you something. I just think Jamal Adams is just being way too talkative about the game. I mean, he did say a lot.
Well, he's always been like that, Steve.
Sam.
Yeah.
What?
He's always been like that, though, Steve. He talks a lot. That's his thing. He's always been extremely talkative. I'm not surprised that he had so much to say. I mean, look how he got out of here. He got out of here talking a whole bunch. I mean, he did an interview with Manish at that point and really put out a lot of the Jets' business within the locker room. So I'm not surprised that Jamal Adams is talking quite a bit. That's just kind of what he does. But when you look at the situation,
Joe,
we got to put it together because this defense is definitely going to attack us. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Joe, here is the thing, though. Let me ask you this: are you worried about in this game on Sunday that Jamal Adams could definitely make an impact? I mean, hey, listen, you were one of the people that was so happy and excited when we made that trade back in July.
Yeah,
you were one of those people. But here's the thing, though, because if you remember, though, no matter what happens at the end of the season with Seattle, no matter what happens, Seattle is now going to want to deal with the fact that earlier in the week, Pete Carroll said in an interview earlier in the week that he wants to keep Jamal Adams long term. And I was like, okay, Pete Carroll, you may want to act what you're wishing for because Jamal Adams is looking like to get a guy who wants $20 million per year.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with them going forward. That's kind of on them to, get him re-signed. But play him, and we got to figure out how to get him blocked because again, we know that he's gonna send Jamal Adams probably early and often. But my final question for you, Steve, before I ask you about your score prediction is, what are your thoughts on the rumors about Bill Cowher? Thinking about possibly becoming the Jets' next head coach. How do you feel about that? And is he a guy that you want?
Here is the thing about this. Listen, Bill Cowher, nothing against the guy. He's a Hall of Fame coach. But the thing is, though, I don't know if his coaching is going to really fit into the NFL today. The thing is, I would just feel more comfortable right now getting a coach that's still in his prime, that's not retired, honestly. Listen,
so you don't want to have anything to do with Bill Cowher? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, to really be honest, I would have to say no to him.
Okay.
I think I would just, to me, it's a no for me. I would rather have some of the other candidates. Listen, the first thing we got to do as soon as when the season is over is if Adam Gase is going to get fired or not, which he should.
Okay. Look, Steve, I hear you. Steve bringing the fire. He says no to Cowher. I respect that. So, Steve, give me your final score prediction for the Jets game against Seattle.
Well, now here is my score prediction for this game. Here is the thing. There is no way Seattle is going to lose 2 games in a row. There's no way that is going to happen because from what happened with them last Sunday at home to the Giants, because the Seahawks are coming off of their worst game of the season, if I had to make a score prediction for this game, I'm going to have to say Seattle wins the game by the final score of 30-17. I just think the Jets will remain winless, and I just think the game is going to be too much for the Jets. I really don't see them having a chance this Sunday.
All right. Listen, and I respect that, Steve. It is what it is. Listen, Steve, it was great to speak to you. I'm going to get back to the rest of these callers, man. You have a good night. You're phenomenal, man. It was good to talk to you.
Thank you, Joe. Good night. Bye-bye.
All right. Listen, Steve calling in, all right? Steve is calling in, and he's speaking his takes. He took Seattle, which is understandable. This situation with this football team is tough. But, man, he said he doesn't want Cowher either. It's one of the first fans I've heard say that. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the first fans that I heard say it. I respect it, though. I understand a lot of concerns that some may have about Cowher, at this point. Has the game passed him by? Can he get the right coordinators? Can he relate to players? Where is he at within that? I respect some fans' takes. I really do. So we're going to keep going to these callers. Listen, everybody, again, I apologize for the audio issues. This is directly through Blog Talk. Blog Talk is the issue. Jeez Louise, man. Woo! Blog Talk, you're killing me. You're absolutely killing me. But we're going to keep the show rolling. When I get back to the callers, 347, I'm coming directly to you. I'm going to get to the chat really quickly. Salute to all the savages in the chat. I'm going directly to the chat. Omar in the chat, salute to you, Omar. Omar says this loss is also on Gaze. He's the head coach. If he disliked the call, he should have called a timeout and changed it. Hey, I respect that. I do hear that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have said that as well, that he should have changed that call. He even came out himself and said that he wished that he would have changed that call. So I hear you, but we also know, Gaze in the past has also said that he doesn't, want to have anything to do with the defense, and he hasn't had anything to do with the defense since he's been here. You know what I'm saying? But if you hear that call going in, zero blitz with what we have out there, if you're the head coach, you got to make that stop. But I also blame him again for the drive before we punted, because 3 runs into a cloud of dust and you give the ball back to the Raiders when we could have stopped it and shut it down. I think that's tough, man. I think that's a tough call, and that's not a call you should be making. Angel Reed in the chat says, Joe gets on Gaze every week. I absolutely do. Salute to you, Angel. Thank you for noticing. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. You know what I'm saying? I sure do. Dark Demonic in the chat, yo, salute to you, Dark. Dark says, Joe, are you paid by the Dark says, Joe, are you paid by the Johnson family, bro?
You're smoking crack. Stop.
You must be, Dark. No, I'm not paid by the Johnson family. I rip them every single chance that I get. Every chance that I get, I rip the Johnsons because they're horrific owners. They have no business owning this football team. And, a lot of people try to get on me because I don't want to, cheer for the Jets to lose every single week. Listen, I understand the situation we're in. I understand some people are with the tank and everything, and that's great. I respect it, all right? And I understand that we're not going to win every game, but I don't want to see my football team go 0-16. I don't want to see us lose every single week. I don't. I just don't. I don't want to see us lose every week. I'm going to cheer for my team. And, I'm hoping to see what happens, but I just don't want to cheer for losses. That's not what I want to do. Luca in the chat, yo, salute to you, Luca. Luca says, so do you think the Jets should pick up Fournette on a 1 or 2 year deal for next year? That's an interesting thought. I don't know. I mean, there's other running back options out there, particularly in the draft as well. If we have the capital, I'd like to see us go with a younger running back, but you can find those guys in the 3rd, 4th round or something like that. But if you wanted to bring in a veteran back like Fournette on a really cheap deal that will work for us, I wouldn't necessarily be against it. But I'd rather have us go younger, particularly, again, getting those guys out of the draft. I think that's big for us. So with that said, salute to everybody in chat. Leon, everybody. Leon also says, you got to bring the firefighters on because Steve is spitting fire. Listen, Leon, I respect you. Steve is, he calls in and he spits his takes. I mean, Steve brings it. He absolutely brings it. So I'm going to get back to these callers. 347, I'm coming directly to you. I want you to give me your takes on this Jets loss to the Raiders. And are you still reeling off that emotional loss?
Long Beach Joe, hello, long time no talk. This
hey,
is
man,
Tom
what's going on with you? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Last time I talked to you, we had a great conversation, man. I always look forward to it. And you know what just made my day? Listening to Steve. I've been following Steve on your shows for about 3 years. This guy is he's amazing. He's good. I mean, I really appreciate everything he has to say. I mean, I never knew why he ever put up with that other guy, Ty, busting on him, man. But yeah, that's all over now, and it's time, every day's a new day, right?
Yeah. Hey, look. Yeah. Look, and again, I want to thank you for calling in. You know what I'm saying? Steve spits his takes, man. He spits his takes, and I respect him. But listen, I want to hear your thoughts, my friend. I want to get your thoughts on the Jets losing to the Raiders, man. Are you still reeling from this loss? How did you feel watching us call that zero blitz and watching Ruggs go in for an easy touchdown after beating Lamar Jackson?
That's pretty funny because this is one of the things I wanted to talk about to you. When I heard, when I got a chance, I was so lucky. I just got home. I give you a quick call, and the show's still on. I was thrilled. I want to start by saying, prior to the game even took place, I was following Long Beach Joe, and Long Beach Joe was even split it straight out there. He says, guys, you have to watch out for Henry Ruggs. I mean, it's going to be that's going to be the toughest guy to cover him. Henry Ruggs is going to, his guy is the one that's going to take the game. And you called it, man. It's like you had a crystal ball, you know? And you can't, I mean, you know. But you, go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it was tough. Go ahead.
No. You talked about Henry Ruggs all last year. Every conversation, Ruggs was in it, and you were like, this guy. Everybody's talking about, all the other speedsters out there. There's a lot of great wide receivers, CJ, Lamb. Yeah, but anyway, regardless of that, I want to tell you what took place in Casa de Hermosa Beach, Tommy. Let me tell you what took place. I'm watching this game, and it's great, and the Jets are coming back. I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there, and I just can't move off the couch, and I'm moving, and I'm watching. I can't move. But finally, nature calls. So I turn the volume up. I go to the restroom, and I'm listening to the play. I mean, we have the lead. We're about to win this game. I'm listening, and I hear the freaking bomb for the touchdown while I'm draining it. And I'm like, Jesus, what the hell? You know what? I came running out, and I just couldn't believe what just took place, man. I couldn't believe it. But on the same token, I wasn't totally annoyed with it because I had personally based on your recommendation, I had Henry Ruggs on my fantasy team and he won the game for me.
I respect that. I respect that. I mean, Steve's got DK Metcalf. I expect him to start him, but I hear you. So he got you quite a bit of points in that football game off that bomb. It was tough, man. It was tough to watch. I was live. I was streaming. You know what I'm saying? So me and the Savages was going back and forth and watching that. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. But I want to talk to you about the Seattle Seahawks game as well, man. Everything that we got going into this situation. And you look at this situation with Mims. He's out. Crowder, he's going to be – it looks like he's probably not going to play in this football game. What are your thoughts about our wide receiver core going into going into this football game? Do you think that we'll be able to kind of patch it up with Berrios and Perryman and those guys being able to come out there?
Well, since they chucked Hogan, right? Hogan's gone?
Yeah, Hogan's gone. We released him, yeah.
Yeah, and we even spoke about him last time I called in a couple of weeks ago, but I had high hopes for him. However, I really feel sorry for Perryman because they're gonna have him triple covered, man. He's gonna be everybody else is gonna be on zone on the rest of the guys. Perryman's gonna have three guys on him. I mean, I really, but the thing is, at this point, I want to see good play from the Jets. I don't want to see a win. I'm sorry. I'm diehard, but I came to believe that we're gonna have to. These are unnecessary games. But like last week was a win. We watched those two running backs run through, and we won the game. And then, I mean, I don't want to shy away from the Seahawks game talk, but at the end of the day, they had to pick a herb, and the herb was Gregg. They picked a herb. You know why? They did.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. Like he, do I think he should have been fired for it? I mean, it's sort of legitimate, but at the same time, he's been the best coach on the staff for 2 years. He made one bad call, one really, I mean, it was egregiously bad. One egregiously bad call, but, when you got Adam Gase and Darryl Lawkins, especially when Adam Gase is coming out saying, I'm the one that fired him, it's like, what? It's like, dude, you're the worst coach in the league. Like, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I want to ask you another question about this other Seahawks game, though, man. You look at this situation with us defensively, too. We're dealing with some injuries as well. May and Fairley being our only two healthy safeties. What are your thoughts about that? And how do you think we'll be able to handle that Seattle wide receiver core? Because DK Metcalf is a monster, man. He is a real monster. He's going to be coming at us full speed.
We're not. It's going to be embarrassing. This game's going to be embarrassing. I mean, there's nothing. There is nothing we could do. The only way we could have done anything, if we had Gregg Williams to come up with some type of master plan, maybe. Yeah. But there is no way. I mean, it was a very bad decision to get rid of Gregg Williams. It was a very bad decision.
Yeah.
And I mean, they should have got rid of Gase, and Gase called the play too. The play went through Gase. Gase gets to say what the play ultimately is going to be. And Gregg Williams might have threw it out there as an option for the play, and Gase can always, he hears it in his in his earpiece, and he can always just, even if he like they talked about before, he called a timeout just to discuss it. Say, listen, what's going on? I mean, let's discuss this. I mean, if anything, Gase was 100% on board. He's right there he's right there with Gregg Williams on that call, and he should fire himself. I don't even know they had the power to fire Gregg Williams. I don't even think it was Adam Gase's decision. He just took the credit for it. It wasn't his decision. He just. I mean,
it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. This is my last question before I let you go. But what are your thoughts about the rumors flying around about Bill Cowher being interested in this, in becoming the Jets' next head coach? Is that a guy that you want? Or would you be excited about the Jets bringing him in?
Well, if the other options was trying to promote somebody from underneath, from the lower league titles, which we have a history lately of just trying to get lucky with one of those, and that's not happening. We need somebody, a proven person. We need somebody that's been there, done that, and I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind anything because we need to change. Yeah. We need everything. We have to change everything. But I mean, the only way for this to be successfully turned around is we got to keep on losing by 3 points and enjoy what we see throughout. Enjoy those games. I mean, there's a lot of highlights. Look for the highlights in those games. That's it. That's all I want to see. I don't want to see wins. I was like, no, why are we going to win this game? I was not happy about us about to win this game. I'm like, why? For what? A meaningless game we get nothing for. I mean, I'm already used to all my friends calling me and texting me throughout the game. I got like 20 texts throughout the game. They call me right afterwards, throwing it in my face. Man, I'd be more upset if we won that game. Any game actually at this point. It comes to a point in the season is why win. Especially even if say we didn't take the quarterback. The Trevor. Mm-hmm. We didn't take him. We have buying power. What we can get for that pick. We can get a freaking all-pro game, all-pro roster for that pick. I mean, the power, that power we possess with that number one pick is, it's very exciting, and that's what we need to look forward to, because Jets fans look forward to the off season. That's what we do now. We don't even. I mean, especially we have no shot at even being in. Sadly,
you're completely correct. I mean, you look at this situation here for the last couple of years. The most exciting part of the season has been the off season. Trying to put the team together and trying to figure out what we need to do to better this football team has been, the most exciting part of everything, because our seasons have been over pretty early. But I got to get back to the rest of these callers, man. It was great to speak to you, my guy, from Hermosa, live from Hermosa Beach. Yeah, listen. Before I let you go, though, give me your final score prediction for this Jets game versus Seattle.
Come on. I would be happy with 43-21. I would be happy, but we know that's not going to happen. We're not scoring 3 touchdowns. Nah, it's not happening. But it's always a pleasure to hear your voice, man. You're really, you really made my day. All right? UNC, I'll love to talk to you one day as well. All right, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, man, for calling in. You have a good night.
Shout out to all the Long Beach Joe fans. Cheers.
Thank you so much. You have a good one.
All right, pal.
All right. Oh, man, what a caller. Caller. He had a lot of great takes. That's the guy from Hermosa Beach. It's Hermosa Beach Tommy right there. He knows what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? A salute to him. You know what I'm saying? It was great to speak to him this week. A lot of people have a lot of different takes, especially about Cowher and all these things, man. There's some fans, especially like Steve says, hey, I don't want Cowher. There's other fans that are excited about him. There's other fans that, really don't care, that would rather, either, look somewhere else, or, hey, if he comes here, fine. If he doesn't, fine too, There's a lot to talk about there, And again, I want to thank everybody for listening. We're going to keep hitting the line. I got callers left. And again, I apologize, everyone, for the popping noise, the audio issues. This is Blog Talk, okay? It's not me. It is Blog Talk as usual. Tripping, bro. Stay tripping. I'm going to hit this chat really quickly. Junio Rudy, salute to you, Junio. Junio Rudy says, Blog Talk, get your stuff together. Listen, the people, the savages, they get on Blog Talk too. Savages, you know what I'm saying? Rudy, you speaking the truth, man. Blog Talk, you got to get it together. Bayo in the chat, salute to you, Bayo. Bayo says, Joe, who's going to be the Jets defensive coordinator? The interim defensive coordinator right now is going to be Frank Bush. That's the guy that's going to be calling the plays. So we'll see what he does, going forward, but that's the guy that's going to step in for Gregg Williams. Portway, salute to you, Portway. Portway says, what do you think Frank Bush's defense is going to look like, aggressive or conservative? I would think that his defense is probably going to be somewhat like Gregg Williams, so he's going to blitz and be conservative. But if we're ahead, with 35 seconds left, he's probably not going to call a zero blitz. I'm just going to say that. He's probably not going to call a zero blitz. That's all I'm saying. But, we'll see. But I would guess that, it's going to be kind of a balance and a mix because, he's been here. He knows what he's doing. He's a guy that has experience here, especially with the personnel that we currently have. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it goes and, how we go forward with him. And, he's worked with our inside linebackers as well, quite a bit. So we'll see what it goes forward looking like. But I'm guessing it'll probably be a little bit more aggressive, probably tuned up on the blitzes. He'll probably make adjustments as well, too, for some of the schemes we're going to have going forward. But, he won't call a zero blitz with 35 seconds left, I'll tell you that. But I want to get to the next caller. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to all the savages. Again, I want to apologize to everyone for the popping noise, the audio issues. It is not me. It is Blog Talk. All right? This is Blog Talk's doing. Blog Talk. You jacking things up. So I'm going to get to the next caller. Caller calling in, 973. I want you to give me your thoughts on the Jets losing to the Raiders. How did you feel watching that zero blitz getting called and Henry Ruggs with the easy walk-in TD? Jets lose.
Nauseating, humiliated, surprised? No, I knew that something was going to be up. The Jets were going to finally blow it anyway. So was I surprised by the end result? Nah. But very disgruntled nonetheless. Very disgruntled.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. And, and Gregg Williams, like you said, subsequently got fired as well. For that call, that zero blitz. That was completely disgusting. But going on to the Seahawks game, man, you look at the situation with the Seahawks. We're coming in here, and there's a lot of issues. We have injuries along the offensive line with Greg Van Roten. He's going to be out. He's dealing with a toe injury. We also have injuries at our wide receiver position. Mims is out, with a family issue. Crowder is hurt. He's dealing with a calf injury. He's probably not going to play. So we're looking at Perryman, Berrios. We're probably going to see a lot of Josh Smith as well. How concerned are you about the offense going into this game against the Seattle Seahawks? And are you concerned that Sam is also going to be getting rushed and pressured quite a bit? Maybe some breakdowns along the offensive line with Van Roten out.
He will be rushing. No doubt about it. Sam will be rushing and pressured. And, what's going to be left of him? Because, I don't think he's going to be back next season. So, he hasn't really done anything in the time he's been here. And, I think it's time that we do make a switch. I got nothing against Sam personally, but he's not our guy.
Okay.
I thought our offense was good, but because our defense is pathetic, but our offense is becoming now a dumpster fire as well.
Well, our offense has always been a dumpster fire. We were ranked 32nd last year, and we're probably going to be ranked 32nd again this year. But
we're ranked 30th now.
Look, I hear you. I respect you, and I respect your takes. But especially going forward, one of the positive things that we saw from our offense, even going back to that Raiders game, was we saw the running game become, part of a really solid part of the offense, especially with the addition or the usage, the correct usage of our two young backs in Ty Johnson and Josh Adams. Do you think we'll be able to run the football against Seattle at all with that same two-back tandem and see any success?
No, there's no way that the Seahawks are going to lose to two New York teams 2 weeks back-to-back. No way, no how.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm really sorry to
when
say,
you look
but
at us,
I don't think the Giants deserve a prayer.
Yeah. So when you look at us defensively, though, only two safeties. Also, we got Bless Austin coming back, so that's putting Lamar Jackson back on the bench. Bless Austin coming back from an injury. How do you think we handle DK Metcalf and this Seattle wide receiver core? Because they're tough, man. They've got some guys that can get after it. How do you think we handle that?
Oh, that's gonna be miserable. That line is too strong, and we just don't measure up.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about us being able to get after Russell Wilson, man? Because he's mobile. Super mobile. This guy can use his wheels to really get outside and make it a long day for us.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Unless you hit him with a bulldozer, I don't think you're gonna stop.
All right, man, you bring it. Yeah. That's the truth, though. It's tough. I'm hoping to see Quentin Williams really push the pocket and get after it. I don't know if you want to send too many blitzes at Russell Wilson. He is a guy that will cook you for that.
No, that'd be a mistake.
But
no blitzing.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. Our pass rushing, we don't have a pass rusher, and we got some guys who can put some things together, but we don't have that guy. And that, we're really hurting seeing that, So we'll see how that happens, see how we handle him, especially, again, I'm very concerned about Russell Wilson and his mobility going into this football game. But one of my final questions for you is going to be, what are your thoughts on the Bill Cowher rumors? There's a lot of rumors that he would be interested in coming and coaching the New York Jets.
It's just a rumor, and I don't really, pay much attention to rumors. If it ever happens, great, it does happen. But for all we know, this is just all speculation, and I don't fall for that. I don't believe anything until it is proven, signed. Other than that, no, because you're gonna hype it all up and like, no, he's not coming. It's like, why set us up for because anything like that just sort of false information, and I don't do that. Arizona is getting killed right now. Oh boy.
Yeah. Look, I hear you, man. Yeah. I hear you, man. Give me your final score prediction for the Jets game against Seattle.
42-0.
Whoa.
I'm sorry, but I don't see much hope for this game at all. I wish I could. Oh.
You're smoking crack. Stop.
Looks like I'm back, folks. Oh, Blog Talk is absolutely crazy right now. Completely crazy. Completely ridiculous. This is completely ridiculous, Blog Talk. It just makes absolutely no sense here. Caller, are you still there? Can you guys hear me? Oh, my goodness. Blog Talk is the worst. Listen, I apologize to anyone. Blog Talk has crashed. Things are jacked up. Blog Talk, you're killing me. Listen, I want to give you folks, I want to thank everyone for calling in. I apologize for any of the audio issues. Again, that was all Blog Talk. Man, just frustrating. Listen, I'm going to give you folks my final prediction for the score against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm looking at this game. I look at the situation, and I'm seeing we got a lot of injuries, man. We got a lot of injuries, particularly across our wide receiver core. Not having Mims because he's dealing with the family issue, not having Crowder if he does not play is going to be big for us. I think us running the ball is going to be extremely important, particularly because our offensive line has had some issues. It's suffering, especially with Greg Van Roten. And then the Seattle Seahawks also have some guys that can get after it. I mean, they got some guys that can really put some pressure on you. Serious business. We all know, about some of the guys that they have. Dunlap, I think he's dealing with the issue right now, though. But if he does play, we're going to have his hands full with him. We all know Wagner, Wright, all those guys, could absolutely get after it. So we got to be, we got to play a balanced offense. But running the football and being successful running the football, I think is critical for us. We got to be able to keep these guys off. Working off that for the play action is going to be a very big deal as well. I look at the situation going up against the, Seattle's offense. I'm very concerned about our secondary. You look at our secondary, it's got issues. Our cornerback position, Bless Austin, is going to be stepping back in. So we know Lamar Jackson is going to, go back to his normal role. I want to see what he does in this, in this matchup as well. I think DK Metcalf is going to be a handful. Lockett, all those guys they have, particularly in the offensive side of the ball. And also Will Disley. Will Disley is one heck of a tight end. He's a guy that can get after it too. We had issues, stopping Waller. And I'm not saying, Disley and Waller are like the same kind of guys, but, Disley is a guy that they definitely target in the passing game. So we're going to see Lange get tested. We're going to see a lot of our inside linebackers get tested yet again this week, on offense. So with all of that said, I'm going to take Seattle. I'm taking Seattle in this football game. I'm going to take Seattle 30-3. 30-3, I'm taking the Seahawks. All right? That's just what I'm doing, man. I'm taking the Seahawks. So it is what it is. It's going to be a tough game. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a tough game to watch. But I can't see us beating them, man. We've got too many issues. So with all that said, I want to thank everyone for listening. Folks have been the greatest. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's there as well. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. Some feedback about Blog Talk, too, because they're trash. Blog Talk is terrible. Terrible. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. YoungJ000. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troller under the bridge, and I will troll you right back. All right? You can also follow my show's Twitter page as well at The Long Beach Joe Show. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and follow. Again, talk to me. I'll talk to you right back. You know what I'm saying? And also, we'll have my Darnold jersey on the whole time when I'm trolling. I'm hoping he plays, decently against Seattle because people are all over him already. But, I'm sticking with him. We're going to see what's going on. I'm also on YouTube as well at The Long Beach Joe. At Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Please subscribe to my content there. Message me. I'll message you right back in there as well. You want to troll me, no issues. We can go back and forth. Please subscribe. Turn your notifications, thumbs up as well. All my videos. I truly appreciate it. And as always, folks, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. The hugs will remain free. Not for Blog Talk, though. Blog Talk, I'm not going to hug you. I'm just not. You got to get it together. You absolutely got to get it together. So I want to thank you folks for listening again. Folks, have a good one. Peace.